Okay, so I realized that I should all kick in here in a second. Razor. Do I have it unplugged? I do this to myself, yeah. I unplug things that need to be not unplugged. You heard. Ooh, ooh, oh, oh. Quiet down, kiddos. There we go. I don't know how that's going to do for. Oh, that me cam is just not looking great, is it? It is not looking great at all. Let's get this racer cam up and working again. Deactivate. Activate. There we go. Okay. So, oh man, it just looks like a mess, doesn't it? Yeah, I just realized I was getting a little bit ahead of you guys, so I figured I'd hop on and just show you. I took a few steps here. So basically, what happened was after I finished up last night. I believe it was last night. What happened was I figured out that the problem I was running into was I was trying to run. If you can see, I've got all these USB things charging here, and actually, oh, son of a! I am just batting zero right now. That is my life right now. MS cam deactivate, activate, and that should hop right there. We go. Okay. Yeah, basically what I'm finding is I can unplug that from there. So I've got all the plugging in all of the power battery packs because you know what, it's definitely okay. This one's might be dead. Oh, that'd be unfortunate. You know what? This one spent enough time in my car in the cold. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. Crack that baby open later. Luckily, it has the control circuit in there, so I might be able to actually use the housing and just replace the battery because I know I've got some lithium ions lying around. You know, I'm a moron. It's not dead. I just need to press the no, this one's dead. Okay. Yeah, no, this one's dead. Okay. I was right the first time. Yay me! So yeah, I have all these power packs, so I probably just need to replace the battery there. There we go. We'll check our chat here. Oh, I do not need that to be that bright. That is not what is needed. There we go. Seem a little bit more down there, so it's not in my eye as much. I don't need to be lit up like a Christmas tree. So yeah, the problem I was running into, the problem I had, was that the power that I was drawing, ostensibly, was not sufficient because basically USB is weird. Okay, like it's really weird. So there was USB, right, and then there was USB 2. And then I think there was like 2.1, 2.2, then 3, 3.1, 3.2, and then USB C. Okay, so first things first, let's understand that going from C. Should I put a diffusion sheet on here? No, that's fine. Going from or maybe more. I'll back this up, and I don't have all of the details in front of me. So, you know, if you're more interested in it, there's actually a great Linus Tech Tip video on it. And whenever they made a new version of USB, they would rename all the old ones. Now, if it sounds like that's really dumb and it doesn't make any sense, it is and it doesn't. They would just retroactively go back and change the name of the old ones. I don't remember exactly how it was, but it was really confusing, which is probably why I don't remember how it was. But I digress. That's not the point. The point is that with USB, see, I shouldn't have. Hold on a second. I shouldn't have the hat. See, that's a lot crisper, right? I think I'm getting more noise. At least I'm hearing more noise, but you're not going to hear it because I got the noise filter on there, so I don't actually know what you're hearing. Anyways, so USB 3 is a bit of a big jump, and it's the first time that the I don't know what the actual term is, but I'm going to call it like the main connector has changed. So we are used to. Let me pull one of these out. Right. when it comes to USB, until USB-C, what we were used to, and what you're probably still used to now, is this connector here, right? I can't actually. Hold on, I want to make sure I can see behind it. Is this connector here, right? Is it easier for me to show you there? Yeah. You know what, we're going to do this. I need to make this scene anyway, so we're going to duplicate this scene. Desk main. I'm going to call this desk me. Just so it's not confusing. It doesn't sound like it's the exact same thing. And then we're going to take the Razer cam. We're going to shrink that down. And we're going to take the me cam. We're going to make it, you know what, let's transform. Fit to screen. Pull it over there. The MS cam is going to go down here. Perfect. And this cam will go. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So, yeah, what we're used to is this connector right here. Okay. So you've seen these all over the place. You know this to you and to most people, and to me for a very good part. I'm just going to unplug this so I don't accidentally electrocute myself while I'm explaining this. This is USB. This is USB. Now, there's been faster and slower versions of it. A lot of it has been unnoticed. Although I will say, I believe USB 3 is when you started to get into fast charging. So if you had USB 2, you would get slow charging, which basically meant that the amount of power being supplied to your cell phone for charging was not equal to the amount of power that it used while active. Now, if it was plugged in and not being used, it would charge it fast enough so you'd get the overnight charge. But like if you're at 5% and you plug in and you're plugging in through a USB 2 cable, you're not getting enough power. Your phone will die while you're using it, no matter how much power is on the other end, because the cable just can't supply enough of it, okay? So this is USB. This is USB 1, this is USB 2, this is USB 3, 3.1, 3.2. And so we're used to this, and then, and a bunch of different these kinds of cables, okay? So the vernacular for USB is USB and then a bunch of other cables that USB connects to connect to devices. But this is a USB connector. Just like, pretend this is different. It isn't different. It's a different? No, it's the same thing. The USB Type B. This is a USB connector, I don't have any of the Apple proprietary ones. That was USB. Because USB is basically, it's a protocol. It's a way of communication. You can almost look at it like a language, or maybe more appropriately a dialect would probably be a better way. If you know a little bit more, would probably sound better, but it's beside the point. So that's what USB is. Okay. That all changed, with USB-C. Because USB-C, and do I have one here? And you'll be familiar with USB-C if you have a newer phone. I know I have a USB-C cable here. Just got to find it. Nope. I just moved a whole bunch of non-USB-C cables all over the place. So there's a decent chance I'm not going to be able to find one. Okay, I won't worry about it at the moment. But you would be familiar if you have a newer phone. USB-C has been around for a while, okay? And USB-C is that sort of round connector. But there's something you need to understand is that round connector is not just another way of connecting to a cable, okay? So let's take this guy here, all right? So this is a USB connector. So let's have a little fun here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to break out. Let's just chop that right off, okay? And then we're gonna just pull this open. So let's switch to our. We're gonna switch to desk main. Okay, millimeter, you go over there. Okay, so let's just pull this guy apart here. This was a perfectly good working cable, but it was short and it wasn't very useful to me. So you know what? Where's my scissors? Just trying to get in here right now. Because what you've got is you've got a number of different connectors. Where's my knife? And it's a lot easier to see on a USB number. Actually, you know, let's just. Here. Come on, I just want to break you. Why won't you let me break you? I've kind of already broken you. I'm gonna cut myself here. This is proving to be a harder nut to crack, but I've kind of committed to it now, haven't I? I broke it open. What I'm gonna do, I have in here is I have a little saw. Let's see if that helps. You know, the saw doesn't help much if I can't hold it in place. I have a feeling that this clamp is going to be... Oh, this clamp's going to be way too big for the job. And you know what? It's not. The problem is too is it's not going to hold it in place well enough. Yeah, because you know you need more grip than a clamp, because a clamp is just meant for sort of static pressure. I need to have a little bit more. What else have I got? Because I feel like I just want to rip this outside rim off, and it just does not want to let me do that. Maybe if I just commit to one method of destroying this piece of technology, instead of trying to change up over and over, I choose one brutal, ineffective, destructive method of destroying technology. That is the most effective. It worked for Conan, it'll work for me. I don't know why I went for a Conan reference there. It doesn't make much sense to me. Probably shouldn't make any sense to you. If it does, go get yourself checked. Okay. Alright, so we've peeled this open. Okay. So, for a USB sort of connector, so the standard USB connector, you see we've got 4... How can I hold that? I wonder if I turn on this light, is that going to help it focus? Not really. Well, you can almost see it. But, you know, actually it's probably better if I just hold it down here. I'm gonna zoom you guys in. I don't have a quick and easy way to do that, but we're gonna... I'm gonna do this. Okay. Okay, so you can see here, it's got 4 connectors, all right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So of those 4 connectors, now we see we've only got 2 cables going through here, but of these 4 connectors, from my understanding, I'm not 100% on this, I'd have to double check it, I've not pre-researched this, so fact check me if you care enough to. If not, then you just, you know, a little bit more, but slightly incorrect, or possibly slightly incorrect. I shouldn't throw myself under the bus that much. So you've got 4 connectors here, okay? So that means you got 4 possible streams, we'll call it. Now, there has to be a power, right? So power has to go through somewhere. So you would think that would take up 2. Now, I believe... Actually, the metal outside shielding is 1. I think that's the return on the current. Okay, so you know 1, 2, 3, 4. So you got 3. So the more streams you add, the more data you can put through. But on the same note, the higher quality the streams, the higher quality of the cable, the more power can go through. You could also do it through multiple cables, but I think that's a little bit messy. I don't know if that's as good. So you know this is the inner workings. This is how the connection works. You can see there's nothing on the bottom here of these guys. You know, nothing really on the bottom. Actually, here I'll prove what I'm saying here. So you see there's nothing on the bottom, all right? So the bottom's completely empty. Well, you know, I'll just leave those on there. A little museum piece here. So that's a USB, right? Hasn't changed a ton. The connection hasn't changed a ton. All right. So the problem ends up being is that when you want to add more connectors and more things, you know, data go faster, make more power available through it. So USB-C is, as far as I'm aware, and I'm sure there's exceptions to it. So I'll say it's the first widespread usage of an alternate connection type. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you know the outside is 5. If we look in here, I think we've got the same, maybe 1 or 2 extra connectors. If you look up a breakdown of the USB-C connector, it's got, I think, like 8 on the top and 8 on the bottom. Now, there's a little bit of redundancy built into that, I believe. I believe some of them are not used, and some of them are kind of doubled up because you're able to put it in the same up and down. That being said, it still has so significantly more connectors on it. Now, what that means is that when you're connecting from here to that, you're not using all of your streams. You're not using all of your connectors. Again, I'm not going to say that with 100% certainty, but I know there is loss. And part of the reason I know there's loss is because through a regular USB, you can get 5 volts of power. Okay? Through USB-C, you can get 12. Again, fact check those numbers. I'm not 100% on, but I know there is a difference. So I've got a USB-C cable that fast charges my phone, and in plugging it in through a USB to USB-C type cable, I can't get the voltage I need for these little doodads to work. So that's the problem I was running into there, was that I could not get the 12.5 voltage I needed for this guy. So what do? Well, realistically, I need to get better USB-C cables. I need to get USB-C to USB-C, and then a USB-C connector, something that connects to USB-C that's providing the higher voltage. My solution to that for now is do nothing. And the reason for that is I've actually pre-ordered the Samsung Galaxy S21 Plus Ultra million go phone. So that I'm going to be getting in the next couple of days. I got it pre-ordered, so I don't know exactly when I'm going to get it. It releases in, I think it's tomorrow, or maybe I think it's the day after tomorrow is when but it's like a midnight release or something, so ostensibly it doesn't release tomorrow. Even though it does, it releases tomorrow at 11:59 in the evening. I will be sleeping, ostensibly. So yeah, it doesn't release until I guess Friday, which makes sense. Friday's a good release date for things. I digress. So once I get that and I see what I get with that, if I can at least use that to test and make sure that I'm 100% on it, great. And then I just know I need to get some sort of powered USB-C hub that connects to higher voltages and is going to supply me with what I need for power-wise to test things out. And then also USB power banks that support the USB-C connector. So, I mean, like the main point of what I'm trying to say here is that USB-C is unique from USB just because it is a step forward. And, well, most of us look at USB-C as the next step in the connector that goes into your phone or your camera or whatever device you have. It's actually going to change. And the benefits for USB-C to USB-C connectors goes beyond that, because you're also looking at significantly increased data transfer speeds. Like, I'm talking huge. The speed at which you transfer data through, which for a lot of people day to day, you know, the extra couple seconds to transfer a few photos isn't really a big deal. You know, high-res photos or whatever we have going on right now. But you know, large, you know, movies, data transfer files, things like that. If you're doing an actual physically connected transfer, to go USB-C to USB-C, it's night and day. It's night and day. It's ridiculous. I digress. So where am I going with all this? Well, let me tell you. So this We're gonna reset this guy. Where is okay? Whoop. Have to zoom that in. That was not a pretty transition, but whatever. You know, we're just gonna go transform. Fit screen. Oh, we're back. Okay, so this guy right here is a voltage regulator. Okay, so this is going to allow me to. Okay, I don't actually know what this thing is. I need to look up some more. But in playing with it, it's been able to turn up my voltage, which is what I need. Now compare that to this guy who is able to turn down my voltage. I'm creating a monster. I am 100% making a terrible, terrible monster. To get some LED light strips to work. So let's continue. Do. No. Electronica? I don't know what Small Emotions is, but that's apparently a genre. Let's go Dreamy. Dreamy Small Emotions. Dreamy Small Emotions. Okay. That's going to put everyone to sleep. So instead of Dreamy, let's go Running, I guess. This doesn't make any sense to me. Oh, that's pretty happy. That's pretty. Okay. That's kind of happy. We'll go with that for now. Okay. So yeah, let's. So right now I've got it coming through here. Now, if I plug this in, right, what's happening is I've got it coming through here, Now this is feeding out 17.7 volts. Okay. So what I've got here is I've got this is 18.5 volts. So that's actually being limited. What's coming in there, and that's being limited in right there. So now, if I take my tiny screwdriver, here we go, and I adjust this, so I'll put this here for you guys so you can see that, and I adjust this, that should change that number in one direction or another, or it will ignore me and just tell me to bugger off. Yeah, it's doing that other thing that I was hoping it was going to do. Oh, okay. No, 18. Okay, so I know what I'm doing. So that's what's coming in. So if I change this, that should adjust what goes in. Because this adjusts the output. Or it does nothing. You know what? I'll bet you if I... Oh, okay. Because you know what's happening is I'm getting the entire 18.5 volts coming through. And that's... Spinning that isn't really going to do anything. But, you know what, here's the thing. I was trying to get to 12 volts. Well, I'm at 17.7. So if I turn this, I can turn this down to 12 volts. Okay, so I've got the power going through here. It's 12 volts. I want to make sure I check on that heat because there's a possibility it's creating heat. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are currently on our volt checkage. We're going to check the volts. We're just going to double check that. Positive is red, negative is black. I'll bring. Hey, can you guys see that? I don't even know if you can see that. Not really, no. So I'll bring it over here so you can see the... I'll do that. I can see it well enough. So we should go here. No sparks, no sparks, no sparks. So we're getting 12 volts coming up. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. All right. We are doing all right. So let's just disconnect that. So now, what should happen... Actually, you know what I should do first is I should check the amperage. Okay. So we'll flip this into here. Now, ostensibly, 10 amps is the most that I should be putting through this thing. Now, I was getting some sparks earlier because if I go over 10 amps, this guy gets upset. But we're going to find out what I am at for amperage, okay? We're going to go plus. We're going to hope there's no sparks. There's little tiny sparks. But we're at 5 amps. We're at 5 amps. We are 5.5 amps. Okay. Okay. This might work. This might work. This incredibly, the literal most basic thing, and there goes my power cord. The most basic thing, actually 12 volts, 3.1 amps. It's hooked up to this one. You know what, if I disconnect this, I could get this one working. Because it's 3 watts. You know what, amps, watts, man. Learning is hard. Yeah, this most basic of all, you know, sort of electronics things might actually work. I might actually come across a well, okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Okay, all right. So let's see. So this guy's going to go into here. And then we're just going to shut her down on there. Clamp her down. Come on. Clamp her down. There we go. And this guy's going to go in here. We're going to do the same thing here. Now, I'm stupid. And I say that because, oh geez, that is, that does not want to budge. That has fallen for the trap one too many times, and it is not listening anymore. So we get the convincer out. I heard you don't like following the rules. How about you follow my rules? Oh, I'm going to strip this thing. I know it. That is my specialty. There we go. Okay. The convincer has worked. So now we will. So this was the original one we tried, the original LED we tried to get going. Now, the reason I switched to this one over this guy here is because this one, I don't have to make new cables for this one. So we're actually doing pretty good. Okay. So let's see if I can do, in the worst, most complicated way possible, what somebody else could do, probably with, you know, a single circuit board or just a few capacitors. It wouldn't be capacitors, it'd probably be resistors. You know, I don't actually know. Resistors, I believe, if I'm correct here, block volts, I think. You know what? I don't know. I am literally saying that because that's what I'm hoping they do. Because that's what would make what I said make sense. It very well could be that resistors block flying monkeys, for all I know. That would be the possibility, wouldn't it? See, I don't mind this. I feel like other people listening to this music would be all like, I'm like, whatever. I likes what I like. So actually, I don't even like this that much. It's just a nice sort of listen jam. Listen jams. That's what the kids are calling it these days, right? Okay, you know what? We're going to fix something here because I don't want to have to reach for this all the time. So we're going to disconnect this from release. Okay, there we go. I don't know why I weaved that through there. That just made everything more difficult and more complicated. Okay, here we go. I do have to make food at some point here. So I don't think I want to go that long streaming, but I did want to just share this this section here with you guys because I did start this on the stream. So this actually makes dealing with this thing a lot easier because then I can just... Yeah! Look what I have made! I have made fire! Alright, it's a freaking LED. It's lit up. See that? Now, interesting thing would be just to give it a bit of time and just see what. Because right now, I have no idea what the amperage coming through here is, but you know what? I can find out. Oh, it was about 5 amps. I don't know what that means in watts. I am not sure at all, but you can see this table is lit. I know the kids use that one, and I know I'm probably using it wrong. Don't care. Speaking of lit, let's get rid of that extra light. I don't need that. Okay. So, let's see if we can apply that to our LED strip, actually, is what I want to see. Now, yeah, that's connect on there. I don't want to disconnect those. So, you know, let's get some more cables. I have actually been... I've got an old power supply. I'm going to unplug that. That's a little bright. I have an old power supply that I have been... I'm just going to let it fall because I can do that now. Fall over there because I can just grab it from there. So, nice and easy. Sorry, where was I? I have an old power supply that I've basically just been harvesting wire from. It's old, it's broken, doesn't work none more. If I was a little bit further along in my knowledge, I would probably... I'm just going to adjust this a little bit. I would probably, you know, look more favorably at the parts in it, and this would probably not be something I'd be doing. I don't know if I recommend this, but sorry, I'm just adjusting this here. Okay, there we go. All right. Yeah. So, yeah, just harvesting cables out of here is not too hard. Not too... I like being over top of it almost a little bit, just because then it can get out of my way. Yeah, so where was the last time? Yeah, so it's here that I cut it. You see there's 4 cables there, so I just go snip. Just make sure it's not plugged in when you do that, or you're going to have a bad time. Snip. Okay, good. So I just want to get 2 of these cables out. This has also given me the advantage of... Now, from my understanding, there is no official sort of color coding as far as what the different colors would mean. What the different colors would mean on the... I just turned up my... I want to hear my own voice. Just turned up my volume there. So if I get a little quieter, let me know. But yeah, as far as what the different colors would mean, there's no, actual color coding. Because you have your positive, your negative, and then ostensibly your ground. There's no grounds in here. I believe the ground is the power supply or something that I am unaware of, which is fine. Who cares? Shut up. There we go. One at a time. But this has given me the advantage of I've got 2 blacks, a red, and a yellow that come out of this. So for me, pretty simple. I'm just going black is the negative, red or yellow, whatever color is the positive. Also, these cables seem to be, because it was a Corsair power supply, so these cables seem to be fairly well designed as far as... Remember where all my tools are. Just, the gauge of the cable. So I'm not actually at all worried about how much power I'm putting through these things. Now, that was a little bit of concern when I was trying to do this with an old Apple connector cable that I had no use for. I was cutting that thing open. Now, first of all, there were 3 cables in there. I spent forever trying to figure out, because the problem is when you have 2 cables, okay, one of them is the positive, one of them the negative. So you just hook up your millimeter, you connect it, and then you're just basically okay, is this a negative reading or a positive reading? Oh, it's a positive reading. Then this isn't the right way. Cool. It was a negative reading. Oh, well, this is the wrong way. Okay, cool. Boom. When there's 3, it can get messy, especially with those cables. Like, they were so thin. 2 of them were incredibly thin, which led me to believe that those 2 were the power and the thicker one was the ground, which didn't make a ton of sense. And the other thing, too, is at that point, with them being separated out, it was kind of like, well, are they... Are the 2 of them supposed to be working together, even though they were clearly separated? There could very well be reasons for that I wouldn't be aware of, especially in a USB-type cable, right? Which is probably my big problem, was I was trying to cut open a USB cable to be able to use for power, and I mean, like, who else knows what else is going on in there? Could very well be the bigger cable was the data, and then the smaller cables. I didn't even think of that at the time. That could have been what it was. Is the bigger cable was a data cable, which might have been why I was always getting some readings or some strange readings off of it. Not that I ever had it hooked up to anything but power, but I digress. So yeah, that's sort of the point. Is that I got lucky that I just had a power supply that just needed to be tanked, and yeah, just harvesting cables off it. Not that I couldn't buy these; they're dirt cheap, but you know, at least I know I'm getting good quality because again, it was Corsair, very well known brand for I believe keyboards and power supplies. I believe are their two big things. At least I think they're very well known for power supplies. Nowadays, they're very well known for son of a bitch. They're very well known for buying other companies. But that's a song for another day. Can you guys see what I'm doing? I don't even know if you can. Like the problem is I got to do this close. Because I'm basically, this doesn't have, well it does, that's the thing, is it does kind of have a wire cutter on it. Because it's just that little, if you ever see like one of these, it's kind of hard to see, but you see there's a little circle there, right? So what that is that's meant to be a wire cutter. So you could, don't quite go all the way, but if you just a little bit around and spin it around, tick, 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 then you can eventually then just, you know, so once you get around it, so there you go, like that, it'll come off. There, your cable's exposed. So, all right, but we're gonna take these guys, and so our black is our negative. I believe this is already up. Or maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe it's not up enough. Okay. Do 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 do. Oh, that's not wanting to go in there. Come on. No, not that one. This one. See, I went with, and I don't know why, because it was more of a not knowing any better, because I went with, I don't even think these were cheaper options. I think these were just the ones that I found. The devices of which these are supposed to be, I got the idea for off of DIY Perks. The problem is that when he suggests things, he gives links to. He says he links to the products in the page. He doesn't. He links to an Amazon search. So to get exactly what he has, I couldn't find it, or at least I didn't know enough to differentiate. I thought I had found it, but I didn't know enough to differentiate. I wasn't looking close enough. So I got kind of the discount bargain bin versions of it in ordering these. So, you know, whatever, that's on me. I also got them on eBay, and I have no love for eBay right now. Again, story for another day. Let's see here. There we go. Okay. Okay, so how are we going to do this with the LED strips? Because this is always one of the more difficult parts. Is first of all, I don't want to solder anything. It's too much work. That's our positive. That's our negative. I feel like my workflow should actually be going left to right instead of right to left. It's almost like that's the way language works. And I don't just mean some language, I mean all language. So put this guy, okay, focus right. You need to move. Camera, you need to not move as best you can. Put that over there. This guy there. This guy's lit, he's done. Oh, good. Okay. Which actually means this is, well, you know, I'll deal with that in a minute. Okay, so this is coming this way, this is coming across here. So now we've got Positive, negative. Okay. So I'm going to trim this a little bit because I've got way too much coming up, and that's just going to make things difficult. I've got so much little metal cabling here. I should probably deal with that, realistically, because there's the possibility of cables falling on those or touching them, but I'll deal with that after it's killed me. Okay, so we're going to pull out our handy dandy notebook. And by notebook, I of course mean